Welcome to this week's Astro Tarot. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today is the day after the new moon, and in a lot of ways, the cards that are showing up on the table are signaling some of the things that we're going to be working with during this moon cycle that we just entered into yesterday. So consider that the sun is in Sagittarius, and that means that if it was a new moon, the new moon is right in alignment with the sun. So it's a new beginning of some sort. We can't see the moon during times of new moons because the sun is so bright, and typically the only reason why we would ever see the moon is in a reflection of the sun's light on the moon's surface. So during a new moon, it's considered a dark moon, a time of new beginnings as the sun reflects on the moon and it gains light over the astrological month or the 2-week cycle until it's full, and then it wanes again to a new moon phase. So there's typically around a 28.5-day cycle for the moon to go from new to full to back to new again. And because we're in this space where we have many planets actually in the sign of Sagittarius, it's like there's a lot of fire in that house of our personal natal chart. So wherever you have Sagittarius in your natal chart, keep in mind that you are feeling a strong sense of new beginnings in that space. Now, we have the opening card today of the Judgment card, which means many of us are going through this realization process that we can't continue to do things as we always have been. This card is governed by Pluto, which is a very strong, transformative energy that brings a nuclear force to things, a change that you can't really turn back from. Similar to the energy of the caterpillar moving into the butterfly, right? The butterfly, or the inner voice of the caterpillar, is like, I'm kind of tired of like crawling around and struggling here on this plane. I want to see things from a different perspective. They climb up to a branch, create a cocoon for themselves, turn themselves to goo, and then become a butterfly. Now, we have to go through that process as well when we want to transform something in our life. And so something has to be kind of put through a solution and percolation and process, almost of extraction, for us to figure out where we want to go. And consider that Sagittarius is the archer. It's the one who takes aim for some higher ground. They want to ascend to something higher. They're on a search for a higher truth. And so we're getting that stirring up of energy in our chart wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart, because we have the sun, Venus, Mercury all over in that sign right now, and the moon. Now, over the next 2 weeks, consider that because we have the sun in Sagittarius, in order for the moon to move to a full moon, it's going to be in a direct opposite sign, which puts it over in Gemini. And we have a pretty powerful planetary transit happening in Gemini right now by way of Mars. Now, let's consider this. We are going through this awakening kind of transformative process, and we're feeling challenged because we're feeling a call to go towards something new based on our past successes, based on our past triumphs, and we have that encouragement to do that. But it takes a lot of change. It takes movement. It takes a necessary transition from something that's comfortable into something that's unknown. Now, the way that we are moving through the challenge, interestingly enough, came in as the Charioteer. Charioteer is a Cancerian energy that's governed by the moon. So if we look to the moon as far as guidance in this space that we're in, and we observe that in 2 weeks' time, the moon will be full, and it will, interestingly enough, be in alignment with Mars, which actually came in as our final outcome card today by way of the Tower. We are in this process right now where we are really learning and accepting what needs to drop away in our lives so that we can actually live in an alignment with our truth. We just went through this really powerful eclipse space where many of us got some hard truths around ways that we were living our lives that are actually limiting us, that are actually preventing us from living in our truth, because the South Node is over in Scorpio, and we just went through that big transition. But consider, right, that where you feel called to create change is in alignment with your growth. And if you listen to Abraham Hicks, she'll constantly remind you that it's our own emotional intelligence that guides us, and if we're walking down a dark alleyway and when to take guard or maybe not walk down that alleyway, maybe, leave a little later or a little earlier in the day, and how our intuition can guide us around something that just doesn't feel right or something that feels really welcoming and really inviting. So we have to learn how to take the reins of our own life, particularly because consider we're going to have the moon in Mars in a couple of weeks, and that may be a very excitable time with the full moon right on top of the planet of Mars, which has been in this space of retrograde, for the last month or so. And it's almost as if that energy of Mars that wants to move forward is forced to kind of take a couple steps back and reevaluate how to approach things. But we are being called to do that. Now consider, I do want to remind you that while we did have the Tower card as our ultimate outcome for today, it was followed by the Clarity card of the Three of Cups. So we do have some kind of release through this change that will open up our hearts in a very expansive way. But we have to consider that everything is in movement, and some things that if we really feel called to move towards that place, to develop that direction of our life, we may be asked to transform ourselves at a very deep and profound level. So I send you all a good wish. I send you so much love, and I hope that you are with family and friends today and this week, just taking time to really enjoy company of people, and even if those people bring maybe something challenging into your life, time that we have with each other is so precious, and it is also fleeting. So we have to take the time to enjoy our company, regardless of the change and chaos that comes into our lives. I send you all so much love. I will see you again soon. And again, if you are feeling called to have a yearly reading, reach out to me at rootsofalchemy@gmail.com or through some way of messaging so we can coordinate and sync up our schedules. I send you a good wish, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.